Hello and welcome. Today we are doing a new pick a card reading to see what your biggest money-making gifts or skills are. So what gifts did your soul come into this life with that you're meant to use to manifest money? So this is a timeless reading. Anytime you find this video is exactly when you need to hear this message. I always use the cards to channel messages directly from source and the spirit teams, deities, and collectives that I work with. So this will be exactly what you need to hear right now. Deck number 1, we have the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck. For deck number 2, we have the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck. And for deck number 3, we have the Woodland Wardens deck. I am going to now give you a close-up of your crystals in case that helps you get clarity on which deck or decks are calling to you. So for deck 1, we have Pyrite. That's what that one looks like. For deck 2, we have Tumbled Emerald Stone. That's what that one looks like. And then for deck 3, we have Jade. Just like a really light green white jade that I love. We will be incorporating all of these decks and maybe more if I feel called to in all 3 of the readings, but right now your job is just to pick which of these decks or crystals calls to you the most. You can, of course, absolutely watch more than one of the readings if more than one deck is calling to you. That just means that there is guidance for you in each of those readings. So go ahead and pause the video and take however long you need to choose to see which deck or crystal is calling to you the most. We have deck 1, deck 2, and deck 3. And then once you have picked, go ahead and scroll down to the description below this video or also in the pinned comments. And in both those places, I will put the timestamps so you can jump to whichever deck or decks you are called to. And with that being said, I will see you in your reading. Hello, deck number 1. You picked the Sacred Rebel Oracle and the Pyrite Crystal. I am so excited to dive into your reading to see what your biggest money-making gifts or superpowers are in this lifetime. Often, these are things that are hiding in plain sight. This is something I've found over the last 5 years of working with people, especially as I've worked with entrepreneurs, to call in money in a way that's aligned for them, that feels good to them. I've often found that your biggest money-making skills are things that come easily to you, that they often come so easily that you aren't even aware that they can be leveraged to make gifts. You kind of take them for granted. So I'm really excited to see what gifts come up for you and maybe get some guidance on how you can better leverage those gifts in your life to call in more money with ease. So as a quick reminder before we dive in, I do not currently offer private readings to the general public, so please be aware of anyone in the comments or on other social media platforms pretending to be me and offering readings. Those people are not me. The only place I do offer personalized readings is in the Wealth Vibe membership, where my members have opportunities to get personalized card pulls from me and even purchase full-length private readings from me. So if you are interested in joining the Wealth Vibe membership or getting a copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, which is another deck we're going to bring in later in this reading, it's the deck I authored, that is on sale this month. So the link for both the Wealth Vibe membership and the link for the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck are in the description below. I will also put them in the pinned comment for you. So with that being said, let's get into your reading. We're going to move your crystal out of the way and we're just going to start shuffling and let's see. We're going to get one of your biggest superpowers, your biggest gifts. What is one of deck 1's biggest gifts for making money? One of the biggest gifts. Ooh, here we go. This card right here. Oh, we actually had 3 cards pop out for you. So I'm going to put these down in the order they popped out, kind of. But what I'm seeing for you, deck 1, which is so beautiful right off the bat, is that one of your biggest gifts for making money in this lifetime is being able to, this is the listening for truth card. And this card to me, with the guidance that's coming through so clearly and so strongly through sources, like you are someone who is easily able to get to the core of things. You're probably very discerning. You probably have a good kind of BS radar, right? Like you're not someone who's easily fooled. You are someone who is able to see, listen to what is true for you. You're able to find the truth in things. You're able to find the deeper meaning in things. You're able to kind of wade through all the distractions and BS when you allow yourself to, right? When you really focus, you can be very focused and you can easily hear the truth. And when it comes to making money, the universe is saying, this is so beneficial because you're very good at finding the details in things that are crucial. You're very good at finding the details that need to be focused on. You're easily able also to problem shoot things. I could see you being possibly a very good consultant, someone who comes in and kind of problem solves for different people, different clients. This isn't to say that's the only career that you could have with this skill, but it's just an example of how being able to listen for the truth is very valuable. Also, oh my gosh, being like a judge or a lawyer, something in the legal system is also coming through if we take this a little bit more literally, of really listening for the truth. So there's a lot of ways that this ability to hear the truth beneath things, see the underlying themes. I'm getting like the common denominator of things. You're just able to see the truth. You're able to see the crucial details. You're able to easily understand what's true and what's not, or what's important and what's not. And that's really important. That's really valuable. Again, like I said at the beginning of this reading, and what I cannot stress enough whenever I talk about how each individual should go about manifesting abundance and leveraging their skills to create money. It's like often the skills that we have, the things that come the most easily to us, we take them for granted. We think, oh, this comes easily to everyone, right? Because I was just born with it. It's just so easy for me. And we don't really ever give it credit, and we don't fully value these things that come easily to us. Things like being able to just spot the truth, things like being able to just understand what the crucial things are to focus on. And so for you, Deck One, like this is such a beautiful and powerful gift. I also am getting like politics, things like that. Like you can hear when people are actually speaking the truth versus when they are kind of just saying what they think people want to hear. Like you also have a knack for authenticity and for being able to spot when people are authentic or not. This means you also are able to bring a lot of authenticity to what you do, which more and more nowadays, especially with the rise of AI, is incredibly valuable both in, traditional jobs and in online entrepreneurship and content creation. It's like people want authenticity. They want human connection. And so all these things there's so much already coming through with this gift, but do you see how this ability to listen for the truth, this ability to hear what's really true underneath things, the ability to see what the common denominators are, the ability to know what to focus on, what's the true thing that needs to be focused on or fixed. Do you see how that could be leveraged to make more money? Like already off the bat, like how you can bring that into consulting work, how you could build a whole career and go into like the justice systems or, politics or things like that. Or even just content creation in a really authentic way, bringing human connection to things. Like there's your big gift here is truth, right? It's like, it's authenticity. It's getting to the bottom of things. And that's incredibly valuable. So do you see how this can be already, like there's ways that you maybe haven't thought of? And let me know in the comments if already you're like, ooh, some of this does sound like me. And oh, you're right. I never thought about how that could be used to make money, right? This is the whole point of this reading is I want you to start getting, have this be a mirror for you to see what am I naturally good at and how can I bring this into other things that I do in a way that I haven't thought of it before? How can I maybe leverage this skill in a way in my current job or a different job or in my business that I haven't been? Or how can I just value that more in myself and bring that to the forefront of what I do more, bring these skills forward, right? Because there's so much power. Like if you think about, there are a lot of people out there, I'm sure you probably know some, who are not able to discern the truth, who maybe they easily fall prey to scammers, right? Online, that happens a lot. There are people who, blindly follow people who you can look at and go, oh my gosh, that person does not have good intentions. How do you not see it? It's because other people don't have this ability to listen for the truth. They have their other strengths, right? That you might not have. But this is something that I want you to understand. Not everyone has, okay? This is unique to you and this is valuable. Not everyone has this ability to see deeper. So again, using this to help other people problem solve, using this to help other people see what the important things are to focus on, selling services around that or leveraging that in your current job, building a whole career off of that, that's incredibly valuable. Also bringing your authenticity to things, right? And also protecting yourself and your finances by not being swindled or taken advantage of, right? We have every journey starts with a single step. So this is another gift for you this is the gift of being able to really make forward progress and move forward fearlessly. Like I'm also guessing that, like when you hear something that's the truth, right? When you're like, ooh, this is the thing that needs to be focused on. This is the thing that needs to be fixed. Or this is how this person could be more authentic, or this is how I could show up more authentically online. It's like you are not afraid to move forward. You have a kind of fearlessness about you. Deck One, which is really powerful. You have this courage, this fearlessness, this fearlessness of being seen, this fearlessness of acting on the truth that you hear beneath things. And again, that can be very valuable. Again, I'm getting like politics. And this isn't necessarily like a what's your dream career reading, though we might have to do one of those soon. But it's like, I could easily see this being applied in so many different areas where it's like, you're not afraid to speak up. Maybe sometimes you need to be in the right environment to speak up, but when you know what the truth is, you act on it. That's incredibly valuable, because there's also people right out there, different set of skills. Everyone's unique. Everyone has different combinations of strengths that they can leverage to bring in more money to them and leverage in different ways in their life. Some people can listen for the truth. They can hear the truth beneath things. They can be authentic. They can hear it, but actually taking action on those things, they don't always have that, right? So you have the ability to not only listen for the truth, but then act on that truth to move forward with it, whether that's in your own business or, shining that light for other people, helping other people find that. Like, you are not afraid to act on what you know to be true for you. And that's incredibly valuable. You are someone with strong conviction, right? So again, also I'm seeing like a lot of like content creation, entrepreneurship, personal brands, right? Like, people want leaders. Like, really making sense is like, you have leadership. You have a lot of leadership. That's a lot of, you're meant to in this lifetime be listening for the truth and then helping lead others to that truth or with that truth. That's really powerful. Again, this could be being a judge. This could be being a lawyer. This could be being in politics. I also see, like I said, just having your own business, starting things like that. It could be a consultant, right? It's like, listen for the truth. And by the way, the truth, when we say truth, you have to remember that truth is often subjective. Sometimes we have fact, right? But truth is different than fact in a lot of cases. Things that are true for you may be not true for other people, right? It all depends on our mindset, on our perception of the world. But you're very good at listening to what your truth is, to what other people's truth is, and then acting in alignment with what is true for you, right? And what do you need to focus on? So again, this could give you very clear vision. You could also be really good at helping people create brands or marketing plans, things like that. If you do like entrepreneurial consulting work or even for corporations, lots of ways that those skills can be leveraged. But already, do you see how these are skills that you might already know? You're like, yeah, I'm fearless. Yeah, I'm courageous. I'm bold. I'll take bold moves. Or, oh, I'm, yeah, I know I have a good BS detector. Or I can easily get to the core of things. But you've never maybe thought about how they can be leveraged in these ways to make money. Because often this is the thing, our society doesn't teach us to use these soft, intangible skills to make money. They just don't, right? We're trained to be like, get good at these skills like math or writing or things like that, and then go get jobs that do those things. And that's all fine and good and well. But what you are here to do, what your soul's here to do, what's going to be the most aligned path to money for you, what's going to be the most effortless path to money for you, is stuff like this, right? Is like incorporating this into whatever the hard skills are that you're doing, right? Leading through truth, leading and acting on what you know to be true, what you know needs to happen next, what your vision is, what's authentic to you. So powerful, deck one. Oh my gosh, we also have softly, the tender touch. Okay, so another skill you have, and we'll talk about how this all works together, but another skill you have, another gift you have for making money, another superpower for it is that you are able to deliver all of this, right? You're with such tenderness, such compassion, such empathy. I'm guessing you have a lot of empathy and compassion for other people. You're maybe an empath, or maybe just a highly sensitive person. Maybe you are just, you're just a very caring person, but you are able to, this is so beautiful because a lot of these two skills right here are kind of, they could be more abrasive, right? Like, you're like, I know what the truth is and I don't want to hear your side or all that. We also, and we have like this leading forward and being a leader. It's like, there's a lot of strength in those things, but sometimes they can go to the other end of the spectrum where they're a little harsh and pointed. You have this beautiful skill that counterbalances that softens these otherwise very blunt skills. It doesn't detract from their worth or their strength or their ability to be leveraged to call in money, but it softens them and actually strengthens them because you're able to deliver your authentic truth. You're able to deliver guidance to help people guide them to their own truth with a tenderness, with a compassion. That is so beautiful. And on its own, right? Like, being able to be compassionate for others. This is something that's incredibly valuable if you're a therapist, a coach, a counselor, again, consulting work, again, even like in the legal system. Compassion, even in politics, can play out, like for the compassion for the collective or your constituents or things like that. It's like also, I'm getting a lot of like doctors, healers, things like that. Like, what maybe is ailing your patients and you're not afraid to share that guidance with them or give them some resources or treatments, and you do it with like this beautiful bedside manner and compassion, right? Like, there's all these different ways that it can work and help you kind of rise through the ranks or, get notoriety or raises or promotions or lots of clients or whatever. So I love honestly seeing this card with all this because, again, compassion, empathy, tenderness, vulnerability is all powerful on its own for bringing in abundance. That's often one that people don't see, but like, I guarantee you can think of people who are not compassionate, who aren't empathetic, and how difficult is it to work with those people. Sometimes those people maybe miss out on promotions because they're not perceived as a team player, right? And again, and this isn't to say that those people will never be successful. They have their own path to success. They have their own gifts. But these are your gifts, and how beautiful. I'm just trying to get you to really see how special this gift is, how valuable this is. So these are the main gifts that I'm seeing for you. We're going to pull now from the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck. We're going to see if any other guidance comes up. Any other gifts or just guidance of how to maybe use some of these gifts a little bit more. But really, what I'm seeing here is just so beautiful of like, you just know the truth. I'm guessing you have strong intuition, strong inner guidance, strong gut feeling. Like you just know the truth. You can't always quantify it or explain it or logically rationalize it, but you just know what's true in any given situation, what needs to be fixed, what needs to be addressed, how to be more authentic, how to bring authenticity to the table, how to be vulnerable, how to let people in, how to deliver, how to inspire people and lead people through to this truth that you see, to the bigger truths that you see, to the things you believe in, or, by using that truth as an underlying, kind of vehicle for whatever it is that you do. And you do it all so fearlessly. You lead people with and to these truths, but you also do it with such compassion and such gentleness, such tenderness that it's easy for people to want to follow you. I see you being such a great leader, someone who makes a lot of impact. That's really, really cool. So let's see what else, any other guidance we have for you, any other gifts, what else is coming up for one. We have the healer. So again, this might mean that maybe you do some sort of healing work, right? Maybe you do, especially with this compassion and this ability thing, maybe you do, it could be traditional medicine, it could be mental health services, it could be also more alternative or new age healing modalities, things like that. Don't be afraid. The universe is saying, don't be afraid to bring your truth and your leadership to whatever healing you do. You might even not be a healer, but the universe is saying bring healing into what you do, right? We had a reading like this recently on this channel, so some of you might have had that pile as well, where there was a lot of bring healing into your work, into your career. If you aren't a healer directly, it's how can you help people heal through what you do? Even if you are making comical YouTube content, right? And you're more in the entertainment industry. Look at how does entertainment or your content help people heal? Sometimes we heal through laughter, right? But bringing that intention and that energy of healing into your work, whatever that is, whether it's literal healing or more indirectly related. But the universe is saying you're meant to really be bringing these gifts, your ability to hear the truth, to be authentic, to lead with that truth and authenticity, and do it in a compassionate way. You're meant to help people heal with that. That's incredibly powerful. Let's see what else we got for you. I kind of feel like this is kind of guidance around how do we use these gifts, right? Which is great. I'm glad this is coming through. Ooh, okay. The artisan. Money is a tool. That's a big thing, right? It's money is a tool. So I'm getting here. How can you view, use these gifts to help people heal for the highest good? And also, how can you, really look at what you're doing here as being an instrument for healing? You are an instrument for healing. You're an instrument. All these gifts were given to you in this lifetime so that you could help people heal, so that you could help people just, have fuller lives, have more fulfillment. And I'm also getting you have some artistry to what you do, right? Again, even if you're in the corporate world, even if you're in accounting, there might be artistry in it. All these things, especially this empathy, this softness, this knowing the truth. It's how do you weave that into everything that you do? How do you do it in an artistic way? How do you, the universe is saying, look at what you do, look at for ways to bring healing to what you do, or how what you do can heal people, and have that intention, and also have the intention to view what you do and the way you use these gifts as an art. Ooh, that's beautiful, deck one. If you keep that at the forefront of your mind of okay, I'm going to always look for the truth, see how I can bring authenticity or my ability to see the truth in things. I'm going to bring that to what I do, lead people to or with that truth and authenticity, do it in this compassionate way, because all these things come easily to you, deck one. And if you feel like they don't, it's because you've suppressed it, because you said these things aren't valuable, right? So it's time to unearth that and do a little healing around that. But it's as you bring these things to the forefront, it's how do I make sure I use these gifts with the overall intent to help people heal in some way? And just being clear on that for yourself. And also, How can I approach what I do as more of an art form? How can I bring artistry to it, to how I weave these gifts into what I do, right? So that's really, really cool. Let's get another card from this deck for you. Feeling we have the Alchemist card. So you're very, very good at helping people change, right? Like, you're very good at helping people change. You're very good at helping people heal. This is a little bit of like a combination of these two. Is like, how do you use these gifts? How in your, this is a journaling prompt for you or something to reflect on. How do you use your ability to listen for the truth, to find authenticity, to lead people with compassion? How do you do that in a way that's going to help people heal, that allows you to feel like this kind of artistic or creative expression? And really ultimately with the big goal of like, you help people transform. You transform people. Again, this could be consulting. You're transforming people's businesses or lives. It could be coaching. Could be the transformation of someone's life experience or someone's reality, right? It's like, how do you help people transform as well? How can you, because all these gifts are very transformational. Like, I get the sense that you're kind of someone that you're very activating for people. It might be triggering for people at times, but you, because of your ability to see the truth and hear the truth in things and hear what's really important in things, and find your own truth and act on it and do it compassionately. It's like, that's very transformational work. Like, I get the sense you don't ever stay still, especially with like this journey card, right? It's like, you're always moving, you're always growing. You're probably someone who likes a lot of self-development or a lot of personal growth work. And you like to bring people along on that journey with you. And that's kind of what you're meant to do in whatever field you're in, bringing that into the mix. So that's really, really cool. I like that a lot. Let's pull from our last deck from the Woodland Warden's card. We're going to, or Woodland Warden Oracle. Just gonna get any last guidance for using these gifts, what your soul's really here to do to make money in the most aligned way using these gifts. Let's see what comes up for you. Definitely that card. Ooh, this is the Salamander and Black Pepper inspiration. You're meant to inspire people. Again, you're a leader. You can look at, how can I inspire people to heal? How can I inspire people to change? With this truth I know, around this truth, by using this truth I know, by using my authenticity, how can I help people? How can I take action in my field, in my job, whatever it is you do, to help people, to help inspire people to heal and inspire people to change, right? So again, consulting, coaching might be for you. We're not doing the work for people, but you are guiding them through it. Yeah, really cool. I also have for you at least one more card. Anyone I want to pop out for you? Definitely this one. Ooh, the Snake and Fern, starting over. Yeah, again, like, it's this every journey begins with a single step. Like, you're someone who's just so good at continually, and again, the Alchemist card, this is also perfect. You're someone who's very good at continually growing, healing, moving forward. You never really staying still. You're always changing. You're always growing. You're always healing, evolving in what you do, and these gifts are always there with you. And I think these gifts almost probably work in kind of a cycle for you. I'm guessing with this card, you're probably always kind of hearing the truth of things, and then from there being like, ooh, here's some inspired action to take, and I'm going to do it with compassion. And you see how that trickles out to help people, and then you kind of see another truth or another way to be authentic or find deeper vulnerability and connect with people and lead through that and inspire through that. And you kind of keep going. And all of that is such an inspiration to people. Ooh, the universe is saying, don't ever beat yourself up for continually feeling like you're reinventing yourself all the time, for always maybe jumping from thing to thing, career to career, niche to niche, industry to industry, focus to focus, because each time you do that, you're bringing all these main gifts here into it. And you're each time you do that, it's inspiring people in different ways to heal, to change, and you're bringing more of your artistry to it. But also what you're doing is, like, people are looking at you, at people in your life, your coworkers, your friends, your family, your audience, if you have a business, right? Like, you are continually evolving and changing, and people are inspired by that. They're in awe of that. And just you living this out, just the act of you living this in this kind of cyclical way of your life is really inspiring and powerful, and a gift unto its own, your ability to continually evolve, right? Through these gifts, by finding another truth to evolve toward, to lead other people around, to do it with compassion. It's like you keep kind of cycling through that and continually growing and continually inspiring people, both in the direct effect of what you're doing, but also just people watching you continually move in this like upward spiral is what I'm seeing for you of evolution and using these gifts. So this is amazing. I want to be clear that these aren't all the gifts you have for making money. These are just the big ones that Source wants you to be aware of now that maybe you haven't been aware of, or you haven't seen how they could be leveraged. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Deck 1, if you did, be sure to subscribe to my channel for future card readings, meditations, channeled messages, and other spiritual tips and tools for manifesting money. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what resonated with you. One of my favorite parts of doing these readings is getting to connect with you and hear your experience of them in the comments, so don't be shy. I love to just connect with you and hear how it all landed and what you're taking away from it. And if you want to grab your own copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck for 25% off for this month only, the link and discount code for that is in the description below. And lastly, if you want to get the opportunity to get personalized card pulls from me and get access to an exclusive community filled with spiritual tools for manifesting money and high vibe like-minded people, definitely come join me inside of the Wealth Vibe membership. The link for that is also in the description below. With all of that being said, I'm wishing you massive prosperity and abundance as you learn to use these gifts more and more fully and deepen into them, find new ways they can be used in whatever it is that you do in your career. So wishing you so much abundance and prosperity as you do that, and I will see you very soon in another reading. Bye. Hello, deck number 2. You picked the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck and the Emerald Stone here. I am so excited to dive into this reading with you to see what your biggest money-making gifts or superpowers are in this lifetime. This is something I love talking about, especially because in the last 5 years of working with people on their money mindset, on manifesting money, and also working a lot with entrepreneurs to build up more income in their business in a way that feels aligned for them, that feels correct and easy for them with their skills. What I've found is that most people are not aware of what their biggest money-making skills are because often they are more innate skills. They're softer, less quantifiable skills that you're born with. They're things that come easily to you. So you kind of go around taking them for granted. No one ever really tells you, hey, you're a really good listener or whatever it is. And you don't understand the connection of how that could be used to call in more abundance into your life, to be leveraged in whatever career you choose, or to choose a career based on that. So that's kind of the point of this reading today, is I really want to help introduce you to whatever gifts, because you have so many. Let's be clear. Everyone has so many different innate gifts and different combinations of them that can be used to manifest more money into your life or to be used in your job or your career. So what I want this reading to be for you is to allow Source to really shed light on what are the few biggest gifts right now that Source wants you to bring more awareness to and use more in your life in order to call in more money in a way that's aligned for you, that feels easy and feels good and fulfilling. So that's what we're going to uncover. We'll also get some guidance on how to do that, some tips for that, or some things to look at. So as a quick reminder before we dive in, I do not currently offer private readings to the general public, so please be aware of anyone in the comments or on other social media platforms pretending to be me and offering readings. Those people are not me. The only place that I do offer personalized readings is in the Wealth Vibe membership, where my members have the opportunities to get personalized card pulls from me and even purchase full-length private readings from me. So if you're interested in joining the Wealth Vibe membership or getting your own copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck while it's on sale this month, the links for both of those things are in the description below. I'll also put them in the bottom of the pinned comment below as well. Now, with that being said, let's get into your reading. We're going to move your stone out of the way and we're going to just start shuffling and see what are the biggest gifts that Source wants you to be aware of that you have for making money in this lifetime that your soul came here with. What are those biggest gifts right now? We're going to get at least a couple cards down for you. Let's get one more for you. But there's one more calling to me in here. Oh, you get two more. All right, my loves, deck 2, Metamorphosis. This is like my favorite card in terms of art in the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, so I get so excited when it pops up. Metamorphosis. You are so good at adapting. You are so good at changing, at pivoting. You're not afraid of the inner work. You're not afraid of transformation. And you're just naturally good at adapting to situations. You're a little bit of a chameleon. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like socially, but also in business, in career. You're so adaptable. Like nothing keeps you down long. You're very resilient because you're able to easily adapt to any situation and change. And that is so valuable. And I think that's one that I think a lot of people can maybe see more of the value in, but I want to be clear here. This will serve you so well in your lifetime, and especially around money, because you are continually able to try new things, to experiment, to think outside the box, to evolve, to calibrate to things. So if the economy starts to tank, you're like, let me try this. If you're in business and your sales go down, you're like, ooh, let's try this instead, or it's time to evolve. It's like your ability to pivot, whether you're an entrepreneur or traditionally employed or whatever else you do to make money, the ability to pivot is so valuable. The ability to adapt, the ability to evolve, right? And that's what you have. And the universe is saying you may not be fully aware of the true depth and value of this skill, of this gift, because again, this isn't something that's really taught to us. It's taught a little bit, I think, when we look at business, but we're not often taught like, oh, it's good to be flexible, to be not quite flexible, because that kind of says like, in some ways that can be interpreted as compromising. That's not what this is. This is, you're continually evolving. You're always improving, which means you get more and more expertise. You get more and more valuable as an employee. You have more and more wisdom to share or skills to share or apply in your business, right? Like, this is such a very powerful gift for making, honestly, more and more and more money over your lifetime, right? So the universe is saying, really paying attention to that, because not everyone has that ability to shift. I'm sure you can think of people in your life that you know, maybe coworkers, maybe family members or friends, but people who are very rigid. And again, they have their own unique strengths, right? You have yours. This isn't to say this is better or worse, but it's just to draw more light to how valuable of a skill this is. This is one of your biggest ones that Source wants you to be aware of, is that you have the ability to easily change and transform and pivot. And again, if these gifts that come up for you, you're like, that does not sound like me, it's probably because you've been conditioned not to do these things because you're taught it's not safe to. A lot of times, especially with continually changing, we're told you have to focus on one thing and stay in your lane and niche down, or stay at the one company for 20 years or whatever. It's like, you are so good at evolving. Do not ever box yourself in, is what Source is saying, right? So if this is resonating, if you're like, yeah, I think I'm good at that, but I don't see how that can be used to make money. It's like the universe is like, look at other people in your life who are so rigid, who can never change, who can never evolve. They will sometimes get stuck in things. Like, you being able to evolve means you never get stuck. That's amazing, especially like with financially. If one way of making money isn't working, or it stops, or it dries up, or you lose that job, you're easily able to go on to the next thing. Or if that whole industry collapses because of AI or something like that, it's like you're easily able to move on to the next thing or find something else to pursue. It's so easy for you. You don't ever get stuck. You're like unstuckable. You're unstoppable, right? So that's incredibly valuable when it comes to making money. And again, if this or anything else is like, you're like, it doesn't sound like me, really look at where have you been told it's not safe to do this, and examine that. See if there's some conditioning that needs to be healed or released or rewritten, right? Ooh, we also have abundant expansion. Okay, so another gift you have is your ability to always be, this kind of goes hand in hand, always to be expanding, always to be reaching for more. You're very ambitious or motivated. You have a lot of desires in this life, and that's amazing. And that is a huge, you have the ability to dream big, deck 2. Let me know in the comments if that resonates with you. You are a big dreamer. You have big visions of things, big goals, big desires, big dreams. Like, you are able to dream big. You're not afraid to, like, you have a very powerful imagination. It's always expanding, and that's expanding you. Oh, Source is saying your ability to dream big may scare other people, and other people may tell you to dream smaller or to not get your hopes up or things like that. But the universe is saying it's your ability to dream big and see potentials or possibilities for yourself that allows you to continually expand. It like drives the expansion, because you're like, I'm going to keep changing, right? It drives the transformation, the metamorphosis, the constant adaptation. You're like, I'm going to keep expanding. I'm going to keep calibrating to that next level. Like, you never stop. You're unstoppable, and you never stop because your desires, your dreams never stop. They're always expanding into more and more. And that's a good thing. The universe is often saying, like, you might have been told for a long time that that's not a good thing. It is a good thing. It's such a superpower. It is such a gift. Wow. Yeah. That's really cool pairing. That's a really cool pairing of gifts, deck 2. Your ability to dream big means that you are continually changing to step into being that version of you that you need to become in order to have those big dreams. You're always pursuing it. You're always adapting and changing and calibrating, expanding to those bigger goals that are ever expanding. It's like you're here to do such big things and to manifest big things into your life, including around money. So when it comes to making money, this gift is like, you could easily, when we talk about careers, you could be someone who is, I could see potentially politics, but I'm seeing a little bit more of like you're someone you can come into any field, especially like a company or something like that, and you can sit there and go, here's where you guys could be. You're not dreaming big enough. You're not looking at the big picture, right? Like you could do consulting work in that way. You could help people expand themselves, like coaching, or I could see you as a writer or an artist that really inspires people, right? Like that's another thing. But there's so many ways all these gifts can play out that we'll cover here. You can use them in almost any field, right? Because a lot of what we're discovering here are intangible skills that can be paired with more of the hard skills that society tells us we need to make money, right? Like being good at math, having the skills to be an engineer, blah, blah. It's like those things are all well and good, but it's when money becomes super easy to make, when it becomes so effortless to manifest, is when you're bringing more of these gifts. You have these soft, intangible, unquantifiable skills to the table, gifts to the table. So looking for ways in your current job or business to allow yourself to dream big, and then allow yourself or your company or the people around you to, be inspired to change in that direction. That's really powerful. That can make you, that's honestly material for getting promoted, right? When you have the big vision of being like, here's how we could push ourselves or our team, or here's how we could achieve more. Companies want that innovation. They want, ooh, yeah, I'm seeing innovation for you with this pairing, right, of gifts. You have the gift of innovation, of pushing the bounds of things, of pushing people out of their comfort zone, yourself included. And that's how greatness is achieved. That's how big things happen. So whether that's, you building up your own business because you're like, I have this big vision and I know I can get there and I'm going to keep changing to get there, or it's, like you work in an office or in some sort of more traditional 9 to 5, and you're like, I can see the big picture of where we could go as a company. I can see what's possible for us, and I'm going to inspire myself and others to change to get there, right? To make the changes necessary to get to that point. That's something that is, management material. That is something that's promotable. That's that companies want to keep around for the most part, right? To help the company grow, because that's the company's bottom line, right? So really cool stuff there. We have receiving mode. I want to see what card came up with this one. The leader. What did I say about what leadership material, management material, right? Like helping lead the company in a different direction. So you are someone who people want to follow naturally. And you're very good also at allowing things to come to you. I get the sense that even though you're always expanding, you're always evolving, you're always growing and dreaming big and growing into that big dream and doing that over and over and over again, you also have a good sense of patience about you. You're willing to wait for the things you desire to come to you. You're willing to, it doesn't happen all overnight. This is the biggest thing I see with one of the biggest blocks with money manifestation with people I work with quite a bit is oftentimes people think that if something isn't working right way, like they make a change, right? They have a big vision. They have a big desire for more money. They want to expand into more abundance, right? So they start to change. And often, when I've worked with people in past, when I was doing more coaching work and more private client work, and even within my Wealth Lab membership, what we'll do is do challenges each month to find different modalities to help us become that next level version of us and become that match for money and manifest more money into our lives. And what I find trips most people up, no matter who they are or what industry you're in or what kind of work they do, is that they start to do something differently. They start to change. But when they don't see immediate results, they go, it's not working. They don't see results that day or that week or that month. They go, it's not working. This doesn't work. I can't do this. And they go right back to the old way of being, and then they're stuck there, right? And that's not you. You're very good if you let yourself be, you were saying, at evolving, at changing, if you don't make yourself wrong for it, if you embrace it and see this ability to dream big and the ability to expand into that as a superpower of yours. The universe is saying, that takes time. This is really powerful because that means you're not self-sabotaging the change. Change takes time. You can change your mindset in an instant, but the ability to change to consistently hold that mindset or that vibration or that state or whatever you want to call it, that takes time. That takes time. And it takes time for your physical reality to catch up with what's going on internally when you've shifted. It takes time to break habits. It takes time to shift your belief systems, right? It takes time to create long-lasting change long enough for money to come into your reality in a new and different way, in a more abundant way. So you have the ability to be patient. You have this understanding, you have an innate understanding of patience and the power it holds and stillness. and waiting for things to catch up with you. And that's so powerful. This is one that I think a lot of people don't. I think you also have patience too, right? Like what I'm getting is you have a lot of patience too with just the more traditional ways that this is applied to money, of like have patience and, keep working at that thing or that job or that business until it pays off, or, keep, like you have patience to invest in something and wait to see the returns on the investment for years or decades at a time, right? Like you have a lot of patience, and that's a superpower in that way, but it's also superpower in the more internal sense and on the manifestation level of money and the energetics of money. And it has a lot of power there because, and this is what most people miss again with manifesting, is like, we think that if something doesn't work immediately, then we didn't change and and it's not actually working. Let's just go back to the way it was, even though we're not happy with that. You don't have that. You are capable innately of being able to wait and be patient and allow things to work out and to come to you, really. And that's really cool. That's really powerful. It means, like I said, that you're not self-sabotaging the change that you're doing by changing and then 2 days later going, well, nothing changed in my physical reality, so this didn't work, right? Like you're smarter than that. You know on an intuitive level and probably also a logical level that change takes some time. And again, this is something I see with my clients is like also, I see you're very good at pacing yourself with your change so that you don't burn out. I see a lot of times when I do my challenges in the Wealth Vibe membership, when people get overwhelmed by those challenges, it's often because they're trying to do like a complete 180 overnight. And the goal with the challenges in there and with everything I kind of teach everywhere with all modalities for manifesting money is always to make incremental changes over time and to make things doable on a daily or consistent basis, because that's how true change ripples out into your life when you can, like I said, change long enough to hold a certain vibration, a certain habit, a certain type of action, a certain belief, a certain energy. It's like when you can actually hold that over time and hold it more and more of the time, that's when your reality starts to shift around you and the money starts to pour in. But if you're trying to just overnight go from like, I'm really negative around money, I'm super positive around it, or I don't believe money can come to me, to money falls in my lap, like, and changing that belief system, and you try to do that overnight, you burn out because it's not, you haven't created like a sustainable habit. You have a lot of sustainability, you have a lot of endurance, which is really powerful. And it means that you're able to actually grow. This helps you continue to metamorphosize, to continue to transform. So this is really valuable. So in your work, in whatever you do for money, this is incredibly valuable because it means that you will stick with things. You give things a chance to work without start trying something for a day or two, whether in business or manifestation wise, and you're going, oh no, it doesn't work, and then shooting yourself in the foot and self-sabotaging. But it also means that you don't sabotage the interchange. You're patient with yourself. You're patient with the process it takes to become the version of you who's capable of calling in and holding more money. That's incredibly valuable, and it's something I wish more people had the ability to do. So that's amazing, my loves. You also have the leader card, right? And the leader, again, I was talking about how this allows you to, all these gifts over here allow you to be really great at leading people to more abundance, right? Or to bigger visions. But you're meant to be in a leadership position. You're meant to lead other people in this way. And you're meant to really be the leader of your own life, and you are with these gifts, right? But you have a lot of this leader energy. People want to follow you, is what I'm getting. People want to follow you because they see your own results. Your continual transformation and up levels speak for themselves, and you do it with such grace, right? With that patience. It makes people want to follow you. So don't ever discount that. The universe is saying you might kind of have some imposter syndrome or some feeling like, I'm not a leader or whatever. And a leader, by the way, doesn't mean you have to be leading a whole revolution or millions of people. It could just be like leading your team at work. It could be leading your clients or your audience. It could be leading your community, your family, right? Like it could be leading just a few people, but people want to follow in your footsteps. Really embrace that. Step into your role as a leader. See yourself as a leader in whatever you're doing. Even if you have people you answer to at work, you can still lead within your current position. How can you be more of a leader? How can you lead people to dream bigger and rise up to change to meet those big dreams and do it all with grace, with patience, with perfect timing, with ease? Beautiful. So these are your main gifts. We're going to pull now from the Woodland Warden deck. We're just going to see if there's any more guidance on how to use these gifts to bring in more money. But oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful, you have a nice balance of energy here. And just this excites me so much. I'm like, ooh, This is so exciting to see this constant expansion, this dreaming big and evolution toward it and doing it with patience. Like, all this is beautiful, but that's so exciting. And then this card especially, but whoo, I love it, deck 2. I love these gifts. I love your cards so far. All right, what other guidance do we have for deck 2 around their biggest gifts, around how they can use them? It's this card for sure. Let's see if there's one more. Yep, there's, oh my gosh, so many cards are popping out for you. I think the universe has a lot it wants to tell you today, my loves. All right, you have the Spider and Passion Flower, Creative Ingenuity. We'll just put some more of these on. You have Boundaries with the Porcupine and Anemone. You have the Sheep and Blackberry, Devotion. Can I make room for all of your cards? Oh my gosh, you have more than I thought. You have Introspection. I think we're gonna do it this way. And with Weasel and Pine, you have Introspection. Then you also have the Cat and Lavender for Independence. Okay, so I see a lot of different things. So the universe is saying that a lot of what you do, you probably are going to thrive in a creative field, right? So again, this isn't necessarily like you can be creative in any industry, any position, any job, but the universe is like, make sure you're bringing creativity to how you lead people, right? How can you be creative about how you inspire people to follow you? Bring some creativity to that. Make sure you have strong boundaries, which I think you already probably do. You have this patience. That's a form of boundary with yourself. But make sure you have strong boundaries with the people that you're leading to. Because you have such big visions, the universe is saying it might be very, very easy for you to get a little too devoted. We have devotion, right? And overstep your boundary because you're so committed to leading people to these big visions and all that. And it's like, or even leading yourself or getting, to this big vision. It's like, it's very easy to burn yourself out, to overgive, overpromise. The universe is saying, make sure that you have strong boundaries. If you do that, that's going to facilitate all of these gifts even more and make them even stronger in the way that they're used. So again, work-life boundaries and balance, really important for you. And just boundaries with, what you're more of a leader. You're not doing things for people. You're leading them. You're helping them be led, right? You're helping them lead themselves in a way. You're inspiring them. So have boundaries. Again, with this devotion, there might be that ability to like overcommit yourself. But the universe is saying also that devotion, it's two-sided, right? Almost everything is two-sided, right? It's just how you use it, whether you use it to help yourself or hurt yourself. The universe is saying with the devotion card here, you have this really strong ability to be so devoted to your big dreams. And so don't make yourself wrong. Like, you might think you're stubborn or be called stubborn, or it's like, universe is like, you're supposed to be so devoted to your big visions. But when you find that they're lacking, ask yourself, how can I reinstill devotion in myself? How can I devote myself to my big visions, to my change, to being patient, to leading others? Really asking that. That's a great journaling prompt for you, is how can I devote myself to each of these big gifts? How can I be more committed to it, but still have boundaries around them, right? Without overgiving or burning yourself out. The universe is saying also a lot of alone time and a lot of introspection time, right? A lot of times self-reflecting is going to help you to get clearer on your big goals. Clearer on what needs to change in order to get there, how you or other people around you or your company or whatever needs to change in order to get there. It's going to give you more clarity on, I think this is kind of pretty intuitive for you, is what I'm getting for the patience, but definitely it'll give you also more clarity on how to lead. So with all these, because we're going to get your last few cards down here, but I want to sum up because you have so many cards. So really what these cards are that we just pulled for you are saying is take regular alone time to introspect, right? Take regular alone time to introspect so that you can get clarity on what's the next big goal you're moving toward, or what's the current big goal or big vision you have, what needs to change next, what are the next steps that need to happen to create the change that will allow you or whoever you're leading to get there. And making sure that you are, really making sure you have clarity on how can I lead people through that, right? With the creative ingenuity, boundaries, devotion, right? Like, if you feel disconnected or like things aren't happening or really getting traction, ask yourself, how can I be more devoted to my big vision? How can I create more devotion to my own change? How can I recommit to my patience and be devoted to having patience? How can I be devoted to leading others, right? And this kind of helps you, when you ask those questions, it's going to help you naturally create boundaries. Because you're saying you need strong boundaries as a leader. You need strong boundaries. Boundaries with others, but also boundaries with yourself so you don't get too sucked in, again, to overdoing it. with your big visions and burning out, but making sure you're still holding strong to them, just not grasping too much at them, right? And then also bringing in creative ways to lead others. Like allow what you do, even though you're a leader, even though you're expanding on things, allow what you do to be creative expression, right? And don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box with your big visions or how you're going to get there, right? Or how you're going to lead people. Don't be afraid to think outside the box, the universe is saying. That's part of your genius. A lot of this allows you to think really far outside the box. Don't be afraid to do that, and get creative in how you're going to lead other people through that and lead yourself through it. Yeah, there's so much guidance here for you. All right, let's pull your last couple of cards from the Sacred Rebel Oracle. We're going to just see any last guidance on how deck 2 can use these gifts. Oh my gosh, deck 2. You have so many, you have 6 cards here. She feels, she knows, use your intuition, okay? She feels, she knows, use your intuition. Your intuition guides you, like you know intuitively, your inner guidance, intuition, gut feeling, higher self, whatever you want to call it. Use your intuition. You know exactly what you want. You know exactly what you need to do to get there. You know exactly how patient to be. You know when to push and when to hold back and when to wait. You know how to lead. Like, trust your intuition. This isn't stuff that's taught, okay? A lot of these skills and how you're going to use them, they're outside the box with that creative ingenuity card. This isn't stuff that you can learn elsewhere. You have to learn it for yourself with this unique set of skills that you have. So the way you learn it, the way you learn to use it is by trusting your intuition, trusting your inner guidance. That's going to help you continue to grow in all of this. Come to life. Allow your dreams to bring you to life. If your dream doesn't bring you to life, if your big vision isn't exciting to you, doesn't give you life, doesn't feel like it allows you to have creative ingenuity, doesn't feel like it allows you to continually shift and grow in a way that feels good to you, and it's just something that you're kind of like, it's not really aligned, it's just something you think you should want or shoot for because that's what society told you should do or whatever, don't do it. Like, only do things that bring you to life, that intuitively feel good and that bring you to life, that fill you up with like that spark excitement in you, that spark joy, that feel fulfilling to you. Yeah. We have Release the Dark Wound, Let Love Live. I want to put your other cards down to see what these are. Relax the Hold of Darkness and Be at Cause. Well, those seem very related. Trust Yourself, yeah, of course. And Beyond the Mind, the Heart Beats. Ooh, and this is the cover art of the deck, or the back art of the deck. So, my love, Trust Yourself, self-explanatory. Just more confirmation of this card, of just, trust yourself. Trust your inner guidance. That's trust how you feel led to use these gifts. Make sure that they fill you up, that they excite you. If they don't, that's not aligned. That's not how you're meant to be using those gifts. You're using them against yourself at that point. With these, Release the Dark Wound, Let Love Live, Relax the Hold of Darkness, and Be at Cause, your work will probably continue to heal you throughout your lifetime. The way you use these gifts, your big visions, the way you transform especially, will probably continue to heal you over your lifetime. You may have had some traumas when you were younger. You may have had things, wounds, whether karmic things to fulfill in this lifetime, or things from this lifetime or past lifetimes, right? Like you have, or generational things. There's stuff for you to heal. And the reason the universe is saying that you were given these gifts, that you brought these gifts with you into this lifetime of this continual expansion and limitlessness and unstoppableness and patience and grace and leadership. It's like you were brought all that to help yourself heal and help yourself know more love in this lifetime, maybe through the people you lead, but just love for life, love for yourself. Relax the hold of darkness and be a cause. Yeah. Having a purpose is really important to you. So again, making sure, it's again this come to life thing of like this big vision you have, it needs to feel like it has a purpose for you. You need to feel like you have a mission. You need to feel like you have a reason for doing whatever you're doing, for changing and leading people in whatever you do. If you're doing it and it doesn't light you up, it doesn't excite you, it doesn't feel like it gives you life, it doesn't feel intuitively driven, it's not aligned. And it will not bring you the massive abundance that you have the ability to manifest into your life. It's just not that right path for you. You really gonna have to listen to your heart and not your mind, right? Beyond the mind, the heart beats. That's a lot of what this reading is saying, and I'm getting the sense that these might be gifts you already knew you had. You might not have. Either way, the universe is saying You're not listening to your heart as much as you could right now. You're listening to what society says you should do. You're listening to your ego, your fears, your wounds. Now is the time, the universe is saying, you are being invited and called to really root into these gifts, deepen these gifts, leverage these gifts to help you make more money. Whether you're an entrepreneur or in business or in a traditional 9-to-5 or whatever it is you do, you're meant to use these gifts you have from a very intuitive place. You're not meant to be trying to logic out how you're going to use them. They're not meant to be used logically. These are not logical gifts. You cannot logic out why you have a big vision or how you maybe know what needs to shift to get there. These are intuitive gifts that you have. You're a very intuitive person, whether you see yourself that as not. And intuition is a huge gift when it comes to making money. Because money, even when you follow someone else's exact plan for budgeting or investing or building a business or making X amount of money, there are infinite factors that can happen, curveballs that can be thrown your way that no one else can account for. So your ability to be intuitively led and driven, right? And intuitively know when to wait on things, how to wait for things, intuitively know how to lead people. It's like, that can't be explained, that can't be taught. You have to really get to know your intuition. So the universe is saying, if you want to really leverage these gifts, you have to follow what lights you up. You have to follow what gives you life. You have to follow what feels correct in your heart, in your gut, in your soul. Stop listening to what everyone else says you should do, unless there's someone who you would gladly trade places with and have achieved exactly what you want to achieve in the way you want to achieve it. Even then, they probably don't have these same gifts and the same soul mission. So universe is really saying, listen to what's right for you. Of course, always learn from others. Always take guidance from others in certain areas who have gone before you, but take it all with a grain of salt and make sure you're also listening to your intuition and not your fear. It's very easy for our fear or ego to feel very convincing and loud and noisy and drown out our intuition or even masquerade as our intuition. So the universe is saying, really get to know your intuition, root into that. Root into trusting yourself, cultivating a lot of trust within yourself. This is a lot of what we do with each of our challenges each month with different modalities for manifesting money. I always talk about partway through challenge or at the end of it, of how are we using that to cultivate trust in ourselves. That's one of the biggest things you have to do to be able to create the wealth you desire, is be able to trust yourself in different ways and trust the universe, right? But the universe is saying that's what you really need to cultivate right now, is more trust in yourself, more trust in your intuition, intuitively tapping into and using these gifts, because these are not logical gifts. These aren't things you can quantify. You can try, but the way that they come through for you, they're meant to be used very intuitively to call in more money in a way that means in a way that feels good to you. Not logical necessarily, but feels aligned, feels good. So that's really beautiful. That's hard work, not gonna lie. It's hard in a society that has so conditioned us to feel disempowered around money and like we have to follow the prescribed path, but then when we do, we still don't always see the money we desire or get what we were promised. It's like, it's really hard to break from that and truly own what you intuitively know and listen to your intuition, because we're not taught to do that. So it's hard to do, it's hard work, but you're up for the challenge. You're good at changing, you're good at evolving, you're good at doing the inner work. You have that gift so that you can continually dig deeper into your intuition and use all these gifts. So this is so beautiful. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope it's shown a light on some gifts you have that maybe you haven't been using or you haven't known how to use because you aren't connected with how to intuitively use them, right? So doing work to connect with your intuition is going to be the biggest thing for you to be able to leverage these gifts. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, so beautiful. Deck 2. If you enjoyed the reading, be sure to subscribe to my channel for future card readings, channel messages, and other spiritual tips and tools for manifesting money. And of course, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what resonated with you. This is like my favorite part of doing these readings, is getting to hear how it lands for you and what you're taking away from it, or what resonated, or what, kind of thoughts it's bringing up for you. So definitely, I'd love to connect with you in the comments below. If you want to grab your own copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck for 25% off for this month only, the link and discount code for that is in the description and in the pinned comments below. And if you want to get the opportunity to get personalized card pulls from me and get access to an exclusive community filled with spiritual tools for manifesting money and high vibe like-minded people, definitely come join me inside of the Wealthify membership. The link for that is also in the description and the pinned comment below. With all of that being said, I am wishing you massive prosperity and abundance and clarity as you deepen into these gifts, connect more with your intuition, and use it all to call in more money in a way that's aligned to you. And I will see you in another video very soon. Bye. Hello, deck number 3. You picked the Woodland Warden deck and the Jade crystal here. So I am so excited to dive into your reading to see what your biggest money-making gifts or superpowers are. I am so passionate about talking about this topic in particular because in my 5+ years of doing the work that I do with money mindset, money manifestation, business growth, all that sort of stuff, I have worked with so many people, and I've found that regardless of what kind of industry people are in or what people, do for a living or what their goals are, most people struggle to make money in an aligned way or manifest money in a way that feels good to them and effortless to them because they're not really sure what their biggest gifts are. And this is because we have gifts that we come into this life that are not necessarily hard skills, they're more intangible things. And our society doesn't teach us to really value the things that come easily to us that aren't quantifiable, right? That aren't hard skills. And the issue is that in order to call in money in a way that feels really good and easy to you, you have to get really clear on what your unique gifts are. You have to get clear on what comes easily to you. You have to get clear on kind of what you were born with and how you can relate that and carry that over into whatever it is you do to make money. Because oftentimes our less tangible gifts, our less quantifiable gifts, are things that we can apply to almost any area of life and of business or career. So I'm really excited to dive into this with you because I hope this reading is a light for you to help bring your awareness to gifts that you have that maybe you weren't aware of or you weren't aware of how they could be leveraged to make money. So we're going to dive into finding out what the biggest gifts that source wants you to be aware of right now that you have and guidance on how to leverage that to call in more money in a really aligned way. We're going to move your stone out of the way. I do want to make a quick note before we dive in that I do not currently offer private readings to the general public, so please be aware of anyone in the comments or on other social media platforms pretending to be me and offering readings. Those people are not me. The only place I do offer personalized readings is in the Wealth Vibe membership, where my members have opportunities to get personalized card pulls from me and even purchase full-length private readings from me. So if you are interested in joining the Wealth Vibe membership or getting a copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck while it's on sale, that's my deck I authored that we'll be using later on in this reading. The links for both of those are in the description below. With that being said, let's get into your reading. So we're just going to start shuffling right away to see what are some of your biggest gifts. We're going to start with the biggest gifts that Source wants you to bring awareness to, because I want to remind you that you have so many innate gifts for making money that can be leveraged for making money. This is just the ones that Source wants you to know about right now, okay? The biggest ones that are the most important for you to know at this point, whenever you're seeing this video at this point in your life, okay? So we have this one. Let's see what other gifts the universe wants to start us out with. There you go. All right, so we have, the Coyote and Datura, Deceit. Oh my gosh, I am so excited for this. And New Opportunities, the Hare and Oak, and we have the Hawk and Thistle, Graceful Persistence. Okay, so this is what I love about this card coming up for this reading. So the Coyote and Datura, Deceit. It's really easy to hear something like that because deceit has such a negative connotation, right? But when we're looking at it through this lens and what the universe is saying, this is so exciting. I'm like grinning because this is such a cool gift, is that you have the ability to make things appear one way than maybe they are, right? Either to yourself or to others. And why this is so valuable is this makes you a very good salesperson. And I don't want to go down the road of, continuing the stereotype of like all salespeople are slimy or deceitful. When we say it in this context, what's coming up is that you have the ability to present things in a way that people need to hear them so that they understand the value of them. So that makes you an incredibly good salesperson. This doesn't, like anything can be used to help or hurt yourself or others. That's any gift, right? But this gift of being able to present things in the light that does them the best service or shows things in the best light, that's incredibly valuable, especially in the world of commerce, of business, or money. Those of you who are familiar with human design, I love this card. I resonate. I feel like I probably would have been drawn to this pile if I were on the other side of this reading, because one of my biggest gifts, if you know human design, is I have gate 26 as my sun personality gate. That is the gate of what I call persuasive phraseology. I have a gift for words. I have a way with words. I have a way of saying things that lands with people, that helps communicate the value of things, that helps people hear what they need to hear to see my message that I want to get behind, I want to get across to them. I've always been drawn to writing. I'm a writer, but also just like I have a way of phrasing things, right? And so you probably have something similar. So it could be a way with words. It could be a way of cultivating a feeling in people. You're very good. I don't want to use the word manipulation because again, that has a negative connotation, but one of your greatest superpowers is being able to manipulate the perception of something. And again, I feel like some of you watching might be kind of triggered by this and be like, I don't want to have deceit as power. This is just the way that the universe is guiding me to interpret your gift, right? Like this doesn't mean that you are a deceitful person. This does not mean you are a manipulative person or that you have ill intent or that you are swindling people out of money. That is not at all what I'm saying here. I want to be very clear. This is an incredibly exciting, positive gift that can be used to help people. I use my gift to be able to phrase things in a way that helps people understand the value and then buy into it, whether actually with money or just emotionally get on board or logically get on board. I use that gift to help people see their own power more because often people are so disempowered in our society and our conditioning, especially around money. So I say things in ways that helps people look at things differently, helps them see different value in things, whether it's an offer I'm putting out or a concept or whatever. It's like I'm very good at, like I said, persuasive phraseology. And it's like, I used to not like that gift. When I first discovered that gift, I discovered it, like I said, through human design. I used to not like that gift. I love that gift now. I am so grateful that I have that gift because it has allowed me to reach literally tens of thousands of people and change lives because I am able to help people hear and see things differently than they have before. So that is a huge gift that you have, or something very similar, right? You have the ability to help people, including yourself, change their perception of things, change the way they look at things, see deeper value and meaning. So it makes you a great salesperson. That's one very obvious way that this relates to money, right? But also, so you're good at selling things, whether for money or to get people on board with things or to agree with you. You're probably also very good at debating things. You're good at challenging perceptions. You're good at inciting change, whether in others or in like a company, right? So those are all skills that can be monetized, whether again in your own business or in a company. It's like you're very good at helping people challenge their perceptions, challenge what they think needs to happen, because maybe you see, this is another gift you have, you see new opportunities that other people don't see. You are very good at spotting opportunities, but a lot of times, this is something that's just true about humans, we are so opposed to change. Even when we don't like where we are or we want to have more money, our ego is kind of hardwired to just be afraid of change because that means an ego death. It means the ego has to die or change in some way, and that's the scariest thing to our ego. So a lot of times people might see opportunities but not act on them because that means they have to change in some way because it's not what they're currently doing. So you are able to see new opportunities and then help other people like soften that blow of like, oh my God, I have to change. You're going to be like, oh, but look at how exciting it's going to be. Or look what we could gain from it. Or it's actually not going to be that bad. Like, it's just these little changes. Like you are so able, you're so clever, you're so cunning. You're able to help yourself and other people change easily without that resistance as much. You're able to lessen that resistance to change in order to seize on new opportunities. So you see opportunities and you're able to help people move on those new opportunities without as much fear or resistance. That's really cool. That's really, really powerful and impactful. All right. So those are two big gifts you have. Again, this can be used in business. It can be used in traditional jobs, right? It can be used even just to make small improvements to your team at work or the workflow or the software that people like. I could like at very simple but small ways. Like maybe you work at a company and your team uses a certain software, but you see a better software out there, or you see a way that you could do away with that software, and you go to to your boss or to further up the ladder, whoever makes those decisions. You go, hey, I think we should actually switch to this, or we should change the way our team communicates, or whatever. And maybe at first they're like, no, that sounds like a lot of work. No, I don't know about that. But you're able to position it in a way where you're like, hey, here's the need for this. Here's the value of it. And you kind of sell them on it, right? And then they go, oh, actually, okay, I see the value of that. And all of a sudden now your team's productivity is on the rise, or you've saved your company a bunch of money. And then they remember that. And when it's time for raises, for reviews, for promotions, guess who's on their mind, right? Like that's just one very specific way that Source is giving me of an example of how these two gifts work together. But you see how that can also play out on bigger scales. It can play out on like If you see opportunities in a market and you want to convince investors to invest in this venture that you're going on, that's the way you can make money, right? There's so many ways this can play out, but those are huge gifts that the universe is saying you're maybe not seeing, but you're very persuasive. You're very good at helping people see things differently. And you're also good at seeing opportunities and being able to guide others to it. Also, the universe is saying you're very good at, I don't want to say deceiving yourself, but you're very good at helping yourself with this gift too of deceit, right? Which is more of this gift of persuasiveness, of changing perspectives. You're very good at doing that for yourself too. So you can easily kind of like live the delusion, right? Or hold the vision of things is a better way to say it. And you're very good at almost like acting as if, right? Like kind of faking it till you make it energy, but in a very positive way. You're very good at kind of tricking your own mind. Ooh, I get the sense you're very good at like hacking your own mind, at like mind hacks. Life hacks might be another thing that you're very good at doing. And that's such a gift. And of course can lead to money. So it can be monetized, or it can just be used to help you create more habits or better outlook or better energy or mindset that attracts more money to you and helps you seize those new opportunities, right? So a lot of cleverness, a lot of ability to be persuasive with the Coyote card here, which is so beautiful. I love it. And this card is beautiful too. I just think this whole deck is gorgeous. Then we also have the Hawk and Thistle. So another gift of yours, which plays so well to this, is this gift of graceful persistence. When we say graceful persistence, you're probably very persistent in your ability to hold the vision of things. You're probably very persistent in going after what you want. You're also persistent in, like, if someone at first is like, I don't know about this, you're like, let me say it another way. Let me show you this opportunity that is in front of you because it is amazing and I don't want you to miss out. Like, you are able to do it, and you're able to do it gracefully in a way that's really received by others very well. So you can kind of see how all these gifts work together. That's kind of always the point, is we're born with these different sets of gifts that really complement one another well. So just know that you have this incredibly persuasive ability, this ability to help people see things from a different perspective, yourself included. You're able to spot new opportunities. You're able to help people see those opportunities and act on them and get on board with them through this ability to soften that resistance to change, to help them see things from a new perspective, help them see the value beneath things, having potentially a way of with words. You also are able to do it very gracefully, not in this abrasive way. Like, you do it in a way that isn't off-putting to people. You do it in a way that it's like very confident and centered and powerful, but controlled. And that's amazing, because oftentimes when we have these two gifts, if you don't have this to kind of counterbalance it, you have all this foresight, you have this vision, you have this like power, but it's like, if it can feel very forceful and jarring for people. So you have the ability to do this all very gracefully and to do it enduringly. So it's like, if people don't always get on board with things right away, you're like, I'm gonna give them some time to think on it, or I'll come back in a couple of days, or I'll bring this up again next week, right? Like, and you have this ability to stick with things, but in a way that isn't annoying, that isn't perceived as stubborn, and in this way to just be enduring and very endearing as you are enduring. So those two words came through together for you. So the universe is like, these are really incredibly powerful gifts, especially for climbing the corporate ladder, especially for building a business. All really, really, really cool to see. And I resonate a lot with this reading. So I feel like the universe is speaking to me as well, which is always fun to see. I'm going to change the battery on my camera. I will be back in just a moment. It is about to run out. All right. So now that we have your 3 biggest gifts that the universe wants you to be aware of for leveraging to make money, we are now going to pull from another deck. We're going to pull from our Sacred Rebel Oracle. And we are going to see if there's any guidance for you on how you can better use these gifts, or any other guidance that wants to come through in order to bring more abundance into your life. So let's see if there's any other guidance for deck 3. All right. So we have what is already with you. We have collaborative dreaming. And we have receiving. Okay, so what I'm seeing here in the cards is like, you already have, the universe is saying these gifts especially, like, you already have everything it takes to be super successful and to call in like all the abundance you desire. All the abundance you desire. You have all of, like, these skills are all you need based on whatever else you have. Like, the universe is kind of saying to me, like, stop looking. You might be someone who feels like you don't have what it takes and you need to go get more degrees or certifications or trainings. Those things are never bad, and if that feels aligned to you, by all means, go for it. But the universe is saying you already have everything you need, especially when you tap into these gifts more around money. You already have everything you need to call more abundance into your life. You already have these gifts, like alone, make you incredibly powerful and a powerful manifestor and creator of your financial reality. You already have these gifts within you, but the universe is saying it might be time to start using these gifts with other people. So either partnering with people, or I'm honestly getting more like working with people, like to kind of lead people in a way, but more to just like share these gifts with other people. I think up until this point, the universe is saying it seems like you've been using these gifts, if at all, you've been using them just for yourself, which is great. They're meant to be used for yourself. They're meant for you to be able to change your own mindset and to continually grow and manifest things and attract things differently. They're meant, this gift is meant for you to see new opportunities you can act on. This gift is meant for you to endure and stick to those things and see things through. You're meant to do all those things yourself. But the universe is saying now it's time, whether you've been doing those for yourself or just not at all, not leveraging them at all. Right now, the universe is saying it's actually time for you to start using these gifts with other people. So again, maybe selling, being in a sales position, maybe just, not being afraid to speak your mind and tell your boss or your colleagues or your team or your audience like of new opportunities that you've spotted, and helping them get on board and see the potential in it. The universe is saying share these gifts with other people, whether directly or collaborate with others in terms of like partnering with other people with different gifts, or starting like some sort of joint venture. That could be it. I'm getting more the sense of it's time for you to almost lead with these gifts and to lead other people. It's time for you to use these gifts in your career, in your work, and not just on yourself for inner growth. It's time for you to actually apply them into what you do, right? Whatever that makes sense for you. In doing that, you're going to receive so much. You're going to receive so much abundance. It's going to be so easy. Like the universe is saying, like, if you've been... I get the sense, deck 3, that you've been kind of looking for a magic answer, that you've maybe been working really, 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 really hard lately. And maybe for a long time, you have that endurance after all. And you have maybe felt like it's not working, or I don't have what it takes. Again, like the universe is saying, you have everything it takes. You just haven't been like leveraging these gifts. You haven't been seeing the power you have. You haven't been fully connected with the power of these gifts, especially I'm seeing this card here, and you haven't been connecting with that power and using it and seeing how it can be leveraged to make money in a way that feels aligned and that helps other people and is for the highest good of all. And so you're gonna see this huge shift as you start to really use these gifts outwardly with other people, on other people, for other people, however you want to phrase it. You're going to start to see money start to come flooding in with so much more ease than ever before. It's going to be easy. Like the reason it's hard right now is because you're not fully leveraging these gifts. You're not using them with other people. You're using them just internally or not at all. So I'm curious if that resonates with you. But if money has felt hard for you, or getting to that next level of abundance has felt hard for you lately, deck 3, it's because you're being called to use these gifts. Now is the time to use these gifts, but you have to actually use them outwardly in your career, in your business, with your team, with your clients, with your audience, with your bosses, whatever it is, whatever new opportunities you're seeing, start selling other people on them, get other people on board, do it gracefully, do it enduringly, and then see how that shifts things. See how that like unlocks all of this receiving for you. Okay. All right, let's pull from our last deck. We're going to get some cards from the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck, just to get any last guidance for you for deck 3. See how you can be using these gifts. If there's any other guidance for you. I feel like this card right here wants to come out. 2. Let's see what else we have. I get at least one more card down here for you. All right, my loves. I think you had the least cards of everyone this time for these pulls, and I think it's because this guidance is very succinct. Like, you have everything you need. Do not be shy about sharing these gifts. Do not be shy about putting them out into the world. Use them. right? Oh my gosh, the Champion card. Why am I not surprised? You're meant to use these gifts, and the universe is saying, again, remember when I said I felt like some of you were kind of like, I don't want the deceit card. I don't want to be seeing myself as manipulative or anything like that. It's like the universe is like, these are gifts you have for the highest good of all. They're meant to be helped. The more you use them, the more you're going to help other people. Of course, any gift, not just this gift, any gift can be used to help or hurt yourself or others. That's just the duality and nature of life. It's all about how you perceive things and how you use things. So use your ability to help people see what you want them to see with the intent to help them, right? Know that you're helping them. In business, right, there's the old adage of like, sell them what they want so you can give them what they need. That's kind of a lot of the energy of this deck. It's not deceiving anyone. It's just speaking to where they're at. You're very good at speaking to where people are at in order to help them get to where they want to go, but they don't understand what needs to happen to get to where they want to go, to get to seize those new opportunities that you see. But you know you know what people actually need, and you know what they need to hear to get on board with what they actually need, right? So make sure you're seeing this as the highest good for all. Have good intentions with what you do. Always strive to be helping people with your gifts, and you're going to make such a huge impact. And this is probably why you'll start receiving so much, because you're going to really be helping a lot of people with these gifts as you start to use them outwardly. You're meant to be helping other people with these gifts right now. The Observer card. This card is all about looking for opportunities for money to come to you. We have new opportunities, and we have this looking. Look for ways, look, because she's also looking at the Champion card, right, of this highest good for all. A practical first step you could start taking that the universe is giving me to share with you is you could consciously start looking for opportunities that would help everyone around you, right? Like your whole team, your whole business. Look for those things. Look for things that are going to be for the highest good of all, and then share them with your gifts with people. Yeah, it's very straightforward, very easy guidance. It could be something you do daily where you journal on this, or just kind of setting that intention and just checking in once a day or every few days or once a week, consciously being like, what opportunities are there that other people around me aren't seeing, or what opportunities do I see, and how that I could see being really beneficial for the people around me, and how can I start to convince them of that, to get them on board with it, to persuade them to see that. Yeah. Ooh, the Rogue. The Rogue card, right? It's like you're going to feel sneaky at times. You're going to feel a little bit, you're the rogue here. Most of the time when the Rogue card comes up, it's about like unexpected expenses and obstacles. What I'm getting here from the universe right now with the way these cards came out is it's actually, you're going to feel kind of like the rogue at this time. This goes back to, again, when I was talking about in human design, how my gate 26 is often, it's in Gene Keys, the gate 26 is called the trickster, right? Or like the city of it, the greatest gift of it is invisibility, right? You might see yourself that way at times, but again, see it all as like, yeah, you're giving people what they want so that you're selling them on what they want so that you can give them what they actually need to get to where they want to go. So don't be afraid to do that. You get to be authentic. You get to be truthful. This is never saying lie. I'm not saying ever like that the guidance here is like, oh, just lie to people or make false promises or things you can't deliver on. That's never, ever what this guidance is. Because again, it is always with the guidance or the intent of doing things for the highest good of all and looking for ways to do that. But the universe is saying, like, don't be afraid to, like, speak to the surface level of things that you know most people are aware of, when really you know you're doing something much deeper, right? But you're helping them get on board with, again, that deeper change, that change on a deep level that allows you to reach for new opportunities. That's terrifying to people. So understand that you have a gift for being able to walk people through that process of transformation, of change, whatever, how big or small that is. You have the gift of being able to do that very gracefully. As long as you don't shy away from the fact that you know sometimes what you say is more surface level, when really you know underneath it there's a deeper meaning and a deeper agenda that's for the highest good. I can tell you personally, for me, because I have this gift, I don't always have all of these gifts. Sometimes I have different versions of them. For me, when I have this gift, right, like this gift that I use quite a bit in my life, I will often say things like for example, let's get really meta right here. These card readings are a way for me to empower you to tap into your own power and then leverage it to make money. That's everything I do in my business. But oftentimes it's like, here's a meditation to manifest money. Here's mantras for manifesting money. All of those things are tools that I create that I'm very good with because I'm good at with words. That I create things that people, they're more gimmicky, right? It's the same when I was teaching more human design and money. It was like, let me use this system as a vehicle for my deeper message because I know people are interested in human design. And then when I say, hey, let's use it to manifest money, we do that. I give you ways to do that, but I was often giving people, it's like at the core of what I was teaching was like, you got to trust yourself more. You got to value your unique gifts more. You got to learn to leverage them. All of that is just, let's connect you with your inner power. And then from that place, create the abundance you desire, right? But it's all the way I position it, right? Like even with this video, you probably click on it, you're like, yeah, what are my money making superpowers? What are my biggest gifts? We've talked about all that, but at your core, what I'm saying here is you have to understand you already have everything. You're the creator of your reality. It's you get to be this deeper me. I'm getting so deep into the meta now of it that it's like the messages are overlapping, but you get the idea, right? Like it's like sometimes we have to present things a certain way that we know people who are aligned with our message or the deeper thing we're selling, right? Or persuading them will want to click on it or look at it or open it or engage with it. And then that helps them kind of be led down the path to change toward where they want to go, right? We're never taking agency away from people. We're never tricking people in that traditional way where it's actually manipulative or unethical or with malintent, but it's like you understand how there's levels to things. That's really what a lot of this comes down to. You understand how there's levels to things and you know how to play on the different levels in order to get people as far as they want to go, right? So the universe is saying like, embrace that, embrace this rogue-like energy, embrace this not manipulative, not deceitful, but this persuasive, perception bending part of yourself. It is such a massive superpower. I can tell you that is one of the things that has led to my biggest success and also helping other people reach success has been by using that gift, right? And for you, you're using it to help to look for opportunities that can benefit others, helping those people, convincing those people that they should get on board if they want this thing. If they want this thing, not everyone wants it, right? But if they want an opportunity that you've spotted that you know would help them, if they want to get there, help phrase it in a way that they're going to understand how to get there. Don't be afraid to sell it or package it up a certain way or present it a way that feels intuitively correct to you, that comes naturally to you, that honoring that way of positioning it, that way of speaking, and that way of like persuading people. Be very persuasive. And then endure in that, right? Endure in the persuasion, endure in the selling of that, endure in the belief in it, right? And really embrace that role of the rogue, of helping people realize what they desire, helping them manifest what they desire, helping them create what they desire, helping them get to where they want to go in life, but kind of like doing it in almost like a tricksy way of like, I know you're going to resist this change, so let me make it easier for you by dressing it up in this certain way that's actually going to get you where you want to go and get you the results you want, or help benefit everyone for the highest good, help you, help me, help us. But it's not what it goes deeper than what you think it is, right? So I'm kind of rambling here, but there's a lot to say about this, but it's the different layers, right? You understand the different levels of things and you understand how to play at the top level to bring people into the deeper levels where they actually want to be, but maybe are too scared to get there or don't know how they can get there, right? Or don't even understand that that's where they fully want to be. But if they want this thing over here, they have to get here, right? So hopefully that makes sense. If not, take what resonates for you and leave what doesn't, because that's always what I say with all these readings. But yeah, that's your reading. That's what Source wants you to know. Like, you have this ability to truly impact lives, to change lives, to bring so much more good to the world and help improve so many people's lives and financial situations or abundance in any form. But you have to be willing to share those gifts. You have to be willing to see those gifts and share those gifts and not be afraid to use your unique way of positioning things, of phrasing things, and playing at those different levels to bring people deeper into what they actually want. But maybe you're too scared to do or don't understand that that's how they do it. So it's really deep stuff, really mind-bending stuff when you think about it. But I will close out this reading by just saying, again, because we've talked a lot about this and I don't want the message to be muddied at all. Everything should always be done with the intent to do good. Everything you do, this is a very powerful skill. It should always ever be used with the intent to do good, to help people, right? And allowing people their own agency, but again, like selling them what they want so you can give them what they need to get to what they want, right? So whether that's traditional selling or not. So this quote, right, the Spider-Man quote, with great power comes great responsibility. So my deck 3, you have great power, especially with these together. You have great power for impacting others, for making money that you're being called to step into. But you must do it for that highest good of all. You must do it with the intent to do no harm and to only help the people who want to seize on those opportunities that you see, right? Who want to go deeper onto those deeper levels with you. Yeah. So just be mindful of that. But sky's the limit for you. All right, I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, be sure to subscribe to my channel for future card readings, meditations, channeled messages, and other spiritual tips and tools for manifesting money. If you like this video in particular, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what resonated with you. I'm very curious because I feel a kindred spirit with you, my deck 3, how you see this gift playing out, how you relate to it. Yeah, I'd love to hear that in the comments. One of my favorite parts of doing these readings is getting to connect with you and hear your experiences of these readings and how they land for you and what you take away from them in the comments below. If you want to grab your own copy of the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck while it is on sale for 25% off for this month only, the link and discount code for that is in the description below and also pinned in the pinned comments. And lastly, if you want to get the opportunity to get personalized card pulls from me and get access to an exclusive community filled with spiritual tools for manifesting money and high vibe like-minded people, definitely come join me inside of the Wealth by membership. The link for that is also in the description below. Now, with all of that being said, I'm wishing you massive prosperity and abundance and clarity as you navigate using these gifts with others in that kind of external way and no longer keeping them to yourself or dimming them down entirely. And just wishing you so much success and impact, positive impact with that. And with that being said, I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.